What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So the good folks at Perfume Box dropped a package my way, and I got two fragrances from the Dumont line that I was not familiar with. I don't know how new they are, but they're new to me. The new Axon fragrances, AXON. Wasn't familiar, never heard of them, so I was eager to try them. So naturally I gravitated towards, let's grab the blue bottle first. So we're reviewing this one here today. This is Axon Ultimate. Very familiar DNA, very enjoyable, very mass appealing type of stuff, but probably some redundancy in your collection. So if you're not familiar with Perfume Box, there's a link down below with a discount code. They have way more than just Dumont stuff. They are an official distributor of Dumont, but they carry other affordable fragrances, Middle Eastern fragrances, niche, designer. They've got competitive prices. They're a great place to shop. They really are. Been doing business with them both collaboratively and as a customer for quite a while now. So I can definitely put the TLTG, thumbprint stamp of approval on them. So even though they sent it my way, though, as you'll see in this review, my thoughts are definitely my own. So let's talk about it. Stay tuned. So with this one, first and foremost, the bottle's Like, Dumont's got better bottles out there. Very much, the bottle doesn't feel cheap, but the style of the bottle is like, I think it could have been a little bit better. Now, the most interesting part of it is it feels heavy, and then when you pull that cap off, boy, it lightens up, I would say half the weight. Is this cap, because this cap is a knurlinged piece of metal. This is like heavy serrated knurlings, like you would find on a brand new weight bar. Like that is serious. Has the Dumont logo pressed into it. You have some plastic in there as well, but it definitely holds strong. It clicks well into place, and then it's hefty. Now, is that the most important thing? No, but it was noteworthy. And then decent atomizer, nothing really all that special. But the scent profile, on the other hand, I'll have the notes on screen. So when I first smelled it, I was like, okay, warm, fruity, spicy. It's familiar. That's what it is. This is similar to Hawass. Yep, sorry about the blinds coming through. The sun is shifting. It's moving. Maybe I'll slide over a little bit right here so it's not directly in my face. But yeah, very much not as aquatic. I wouldn't say 100% the same fragrance, but I would say like 85-90%. Pretty close. Different fruitiness. It's not plum. It's got more of like this apple, pineapple kind of thing going. Not a Ventus type of stuff, but like that kind of fruitiness, more so than plum. Very enjoyable. High compliment factor. I got two compliments. One from the cashier at Walmart, and then one from our server at Sharky's, because we were out and about a lot that day when I wore this. And the wife enjoyed it as well. It wasn't she was going gaga all over me. Oh, God, you smell so good. But she was like, oh, you smell nice. So, counting the wife. 3 fragrances when I wore this a couple of days ago. So, as expected with stuff that smells like Hawass and Invictus Aqua, with a high compliment factor, very enjoyable fragrances. Likelihood of getting compliments with stuff like this, pretty high. No guarantees, but probability goes up for sure. So, if you have Hawass, yeah, it's going to be redundant to stuff like Hawass and Invictus, but if you don't have a bunch of other fragrances like that, warm, fruity, spicy, main accords here, and through, start to finish, not heavy on the woody nuances. There's a little bit of a woodiness as it dries down, but that fruitiness never seems to go away. And again, I wouldn't call it all that aquatic like some of the others that I mentioned. Those are definitely a little bit more aquatic. This is more about sweet fruits than bubblegum aquatic overall, if that makes sense. So yeah, as far as smell, that smells great. Now, in regards to performance, this one I seem to fall in the 6 to 8 hour range in longevity. Now, this could be some anosmia, some nose fatigue setting in. I'm not sure, but I didn't clock it really past 7 to 8 hours in longevity before I found it to be a skin scent, which 6 to 8 hours is right in the sweet spot for me. I wouldn't call that a beast, but that is above average for sure in longevity. Projection, however, is on the relatively moderate to heavy side for about an hour and a half, roughly, before it starts to settle in a bit more. Sit a little bit close to the skin. With a sillage, it kind of falls in that moderate range. you don't get a big trade-off from how it's pushing off the skin to how your scent bubble that you're left with for the majority of the life of the fragrance. It doesn't change a whole lot. It drops off a little bit, as most fragrances do. Vast majority of fragrances will drop off quite a bit. This one, I would say the performance of how it's coming off of your skin maybe cuts in half. So the difference from projection to sillage, not a big one. So that's a good thing. That means it's pretty consistent overall. So across the board, I would call this an above average performer in all three subcategories, but not a beast. Final thoughts on Axon Ultimate from Dumont. This one's very impressive, but still redundant. There's redundancy here. I have several fragrances that smell like this. You may as well. So keep that in mind. Blind buy with caution, as with all fragrances. But I mean, it's mid $30 price point before any discounters. It's very well priced, I have to say. It's a straight up cheapy gem type of fragrance. It's really, really good stuff. If you don't have a bunch of fragrances like Hawass and Invictus, you might want to give this one a go. It's definitely going to be cheaper than Invictus. It's a little bit cheaper than Hawass. And honestly, it doesn't smell quite as synthetic as Hawass. I would say it's a little bit smoother. Honestly, I forgot to mention that in the smell portion, the beginning of the video. Yeah, it's a little bit smoother. It's not as cheap and synthetic, but out in the air, that becomes irrelevant. It's up close where, sniffing like this, where that would come into play for you as the wearer. Not too many people are sniffing your hand or your arm directly or right on your neck. Maybe a woman, I don't know. But overall, I would say this is every bit of an 8.25 out of 10 in the ratings. The smell is fantastic. The performance is above average without being a beast. If this one had Hawass level performance or Invictus level performance, just really long lasting, really loud type of stuff, obviously that would bump its score to probably, if I had to resort everything, it would be probably in the realm of like an 8.75 overall. I'd probably get another half point bump when you recalculate the scores with it, because it's above average. It's really good performance still, just not a monster type of thing. Sometimes you don't need a monster. Sometimes you want something a bit more subdued, and this is not subdued. This is still much stronger than something I would consider tame. It's just not wild, if you will. But yeah, for me, 8.25. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on Dumont Axon Ultimate. Thank you to Perfume Box for sending this my way. I sure appreciate it. I didn't know I had a package coming. It was really nice to get some more fragrances to check out and try. I've been very impressed with the Dumont house. I wouldn't call this the upper echelon of what Dumont has to offer, but this is definitely like some of their mid-tier stuff. They have some really good, fresh, playful type of fragrances. This falls in line with stuff like Nitro Red, for example. Scapler Pour Homme. This falls in line with stuff like that. The fresh, fruity, spicy, fun fragrances, high compliment factor type of stuff, casual wearings. They got some offerings like that, and this is definitely one of them. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe before you leave. I'll catch you on the next one.